Welcome to the show, folks. If you don't know me by now, my name is Mike Asherbrenner. I am professionally known as the Redneck Connector and proud and humble leader of the Hounds of Business community. You are tuning in to Mike King Biz Radio, 106.1 FM, RVA, ESPN. Welcome, folks. We got a stellar show for you today. We're going to get right to it. Today's theme, why franchises aren't just for the wealthy. All right, we're going to have a special guest, Greg Moore. All right. And this guy, Wall Street Journal best-selling author and founder of the Franchise Maven. All right, here to get it done. Get your pencil and paper out, folks, or go back to our YouTube channel. We'll post this immediately. Hey, what if I told you don't need millions in the bank to own a franchise? Because I thought that for the longest time. All right, that your dream business might be within reach. All right. We're going to talk to Greg, how he escaped that 9-to-5 and reverse engineered this freedom system that's helped thousands, all right, financial independence and build smart, scalable business through franchising. Let's get this party started, y'all. Super excited.
Looks like your business might be in a bit of a pickle. Don't you worry about a thing. You ain't alone in this. You're just a success story waiting to happen. Trust me on that. Every bump in the road is just an opportunity wearing a clever disguise. Welcome to the Hounds of Business community, where we don't just sit around twiddling our thumbs. Nope, we turn those obstacles into mighty fine stepping stones. This here's a place where high-level entrepreneurs and sharp professionals gather to grow their businesses and mindsets, kind of like how a good old gumbo needs the right ingredients to be something special. Ideas thrive here, and collaborations? Well, they're as natural as sweet tea on a hot day. Success? It's a journey, and we're fixing to walk that road right beside you. Now, don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn for all the latest tips and insights. We're talking about the kind of wisdom that'll keep you ahead of the game. And while you're at it, head on over to our YouTube channel. We've got ourselves a treasure trove of videos, from expert interviews to webinars, everything you need to stay sharp in this fast-moving world of business. The Hounds of Business community? Well, we ain't just a network, we're a movement. So why not come on and be part of something bigger? Join us today and let's turn your business journey into a real Southern success story. Together, we'll achieve greatness, just like crawfish and singing on a Friday night.
All right, folks, let's bring up the man himself, Greg Moore, and see if he knows anything about crawfish and singing on a Friday night. Welcome to the show, big dog. How are you today?
Excellent, Michael. I do love crawfish, but you probably don't want me singing now on any night.
Hey, the more I talk to you, the more I like you, buddy. We might be related. Give me that hair sample, all right? We're going to test it. So
Here you go.
You got it. Hey, folks in the comments, if you're live watching this, thank you so much. Usman Homer, the world's best assistant here, VA, skills to make meals, and Baz Porter. Baz Porter is, he was on recently. What a great guy. And then, we got Michelle Smith, who snuck in the Hound's back door 3 times, and now she's a Hound, all right? So let's get this party started. We talked a little bit in the beginning, right? You were an engineer, right? So let me start here. How did a corporate engineer end up helping folks buy freedom through franchises, Greg?
Mike, the franchising thing actually started years ago, back when I was actually 16. My first job was at Taco Bell, and it just so happened that I ended up learning that I worked for a master franchiser for Taco Bell. She owned like 50 Taco Bells throughout the Sacramento, California area. So that really got me interested in franchising. Didn't have enough money to buy one back then, and probably didn't think about it too much. I was having too much fun managing her restaurants.
Right.
But fast forward 30 years later, after being a restaurant manager for 15 years, I went on to manage other restaurants as well as Taco Bell, and then became an engineer. Got bored with the restaurant management, became an engineer, did that 15 years. Got bored with that, although I did purchase a couple of private businesses with a friend and had some real estate investments as well. But we both, the guy that I partnered with, myself, we both got out of the corporate world about the same time. We had enough of that, or they had enough of us. I forget which, probably they had enough of us. And I said, you can have, I didn't really say you can have half of my stuff, but here's half. I'll sell you my half. You do your thing. It was a dry cleaner, privately owned dry cleaners. It was very interesting, but very painful because we didn't know anything about dry cleaning. So we had to learn it ourselves. Well, I thought, I don't have the latest, greatest idea on that. And I don't want to do that privately owned thing again with the business, because that took an awful lot of work trying to figure out how to do all those things. I thought that franchising thing was pretty cool. So I said, I'm going to go out and find me a franchise and start running that. And I did a lot of searching on the internet, finally found a franchise consultant who knew they existed. I did not, but the franchise consultant helped me find a great franchise, got into that, did that for probably a couple of years. But I look back on what that franchise consultant was doing, and I thought, I like what you're doing a lot better than what I'm doing, although it was fun. But still, the franchise consultant, he got to sit at home all day and work with people all over the United States, all sorts of wonderful, cool people. Very good use of my time, not having to drive around too much. So I said, teach me what you do. I want to do that. And sure enough, I got into franchise consulting. That was 10, 12 years ago, and haven't looked back since.
Yeah, folks in the comments, and Greg, I got a question. Franchising wasn't on career day any place I went. It wasn't even at colleges. Franchising wasn't even an option. Tell me if you guys in the comments and ladies here, did y'all hear about this late in life? Because that seems to be the common factor. But here's what I did hear you say, Greg. Seems like you get bored a lot, man. That makes me feel good. I'm bored, so I did this, and I'm bored, and I did that. And it wasn't a bad thing. It was a great thing. It led you here where you're at. And real quick, I already got you a client lined up. We might have to talk about this and check the labor laws. But real quick, my 6-year-old, so I'm talking to her about business and her imagination. And anyway, she runs in the house and says, "Hey, Mommy, I don't need to go to first grade. It's coming up." What are you talking about? She's like, "Well, me and Daddy's going to buy an ice cream truck and take over the market. So I don't need college." I was like, "Oh, my God." And so anyway, she's already thinking this way. So there you go, Greg. I got you one about 12 years from now. All right. But let me ask you this. What surprised you the most when you stepped into the franchise world? Was there any shocking surprise or anything that was like, wow, good or bad?
Yeah, there was. First, I got to say hello to Horacio, one of my partners back there from the semiconductor days out there. We worked together for quite a while. But what surprised me the most, Mike, was when I got into it, was really how easy it was to step right into it on there. It was Dennis Schooley who ran the franchise, and he ran the Schooley Mitchell Telecommunications Consulting franchise. And I was nervous when I first signed up. I probably woke up screaming one or two nights, wondering what I was getting myself into on that one. But his training was so wonderful. He had like 100 different ways to get clients. This is how you talk to them. This is what you say to them. And it was just a really simple process. And he also really had everything lined up. So, he had 100 different ways to get clients, or if you want, we've got a phone caller that can go out there and, get you clients themselves. But he made the whole process really simple. His training was absolutely wonderful, really set the stage for what franchising was really all about to me, is having that individual that ran the franchise, having a whole team of people that really were there for you to help you out, to get you going. So I never wondered, okay, when I get up in the morning, what do I do next? He did not call me to wake me up in the morning. So you got to be a self-starter on that. Right. But once you do, he's got that whole playbook for you, step by step. This is what you do. This is what you do next. These are the people you get in front of. These are the presentations you give. It was absolutely wonderful and easy process to go through.
Oh, I love that. And let's dive right into that, because you just segued into what I was thinking anyway. And I know the folks out here are thinking about it. And by the way, if you're on the radio listening in, you can go to franchisemaven, MAVEN.com, franchisemaven.com, resources, all kind of things. You're an educator, Greg. That's why you're up here. There's tons of people in this space, but you educate, you don't push, you attract, and you help people where they're at. It sounds simple, but hey, I'm sure there's other people, but I found you first. All right, so thank you for being here. But let's dive into it. Folks out there may be thinking, like I had and others have, like this is just for fast food joints and you got to have a lot of money and cash in your 401ks and all this stuff. So explain to folks in your own words, what exactly is franchising in real people words, plain English?
You are renting or leasing a business plan, basically, is what you're doing on there. That franchise has already created that business plan for you, the business model. They've done it all. What you do, and franchises vary, like you said, in price. Not all of them are real huge prices. You're paying, generally speaking, around $50,000 for that franchise fee. And that franchise fee gets you that business plan, that business model that you're leasing out. That's basically what you're doing. Here's the playbook. Here's what we've done before. We've made the mistakes, so we know what not to do on there. And we know what to do because these are the things that are working for us. Everything else, all the rest of the total investment on that is whatever it takes to get that business up and running. That's the one that's going to vary on that. But for that franchise itself, you're just leasing or renting a business model, a business plan, and that's around $50,000. And that gets you everything that you need to know on how to run that business, how to get it going. Simple as that.
Okay, I want to play devil's advocate. All right, $50,000 for what? Oh no, well that's 50,000 I could use to bootstrap, build my own. But Greg, here's what I found. Elaborate for me. Am I on the right track here? I've seen it night and day, right? We know McDonald's, for example, works. It's a proven system. I heard you say it. Mike's Chicken Palace, yet to be seen, right? And so, am I right in this thinking? What you're buying is a proven model, the know-how, the guidance. Like you don't have to wonder, does that sell? Yeah, it sells. This is how we do it. So it's not an expense; it's an investment, right?
That's correct. And playing devil's advocate on that, it's a proven business model, what you referred to there. The question becomes, if you want to play devil's advocate, is how proven is it? So that goes into an emerging franchise versus a McDonald's. You get into McDonald's now, it's already been proven out. Thousands of people have done it. Very limited in territories available, very limited areas that you can go into on that. But it's been proven. It works, as opposed to something that's emerging that's not quite too proven yet on that one. Who knows? It may take off. It may be huge like McDonald's. Mike's Chicken Kitchen may just take off. It may not. So when you get into something that's not quite as proven, you're taking a bit more of a risk than if you get into something that's more proven, but you then have more territories available to you. You work a little bit closer with the franchise or the person who actually developed the system. So it's really a give and take on that, just how far and how proven you want it to be versus, what's available in the area for you and how well you can expand out.
See, this right here, this is the first time I heard of different types of, you're an educator, you're a guide. You're not just trying to sell out one franchise over and over. And I'm not saying nothing wrong with that, but you're over here going, hey, there's a buffet. I'm going to help you figure out which one's better or if any of it's better. So let me ask you this. What kind of person is actually a good fit to own one? Like, and who's better off bootstrapping and passing up? Is there a general kind of format to use for that? Or have you seen this in your own experience?
There sure is. So if you're getting into a franchise or any business for that matter, you're going to have to be a little bit on the risk averse side. There's always going to be risk involved in it. So you got to be a little bit risk adverse. If you're getting into a franchise, that means you want and you're going to work with other people, the other people being the franchisor and their team to help you grow. So you got to be able to be mentored. You got to be able to follow systems and processes. You do have to be a self-starter. Any business you get into, you're going to have to be a self-starter. Be it a franchise, do it yourself. Franchise, like I indicated before, Dennis never called me up in the morning and said, Greg, time to get up. Let's go run the business. You got to do that part yourself. So risk adverse, follow policies and procedures, be able to be mentored, self-starter. For those people who do not necessarily make a good franchisee, or those people that really have their own ideas, want to do things themselves, don't want to be encumbered by any of those and have their own plan to go out there and do it. And there's a few of those. I've gotten a lot of entrepreneurs. The older entrepreneurs are a lot more fun to work with. The newer, younger entrepreneurs, they're full of energy and they're like, yeah, I don't think I want somebody, telling me I want to take off with this. But the older entrepreneurs who have done it before, a lot of them are pretty funny. They had a guy the other day that said, I own, like 10 different businesses, built them up and sold them. He says, so I want you to help me find a franchise that fits me. And it's like, why? Why do you need me? You've done it before. He's like, well, I know what it takes to build up my own business and get it up and running. I don't want to do that again. I just want to step in a business and take off running. So there you go.
I can feel that. I'm feeling that same thing. I'm like, it sounds great. We're romanticized and it's wonderful to do. But I think I might have to explore that myself. Like, okay, what can I? This was really something else. But again, it depends on where you're at, your mental state, your journey. And you can always pivot. You can always change. And that's the journey. Don't think of it as failure. Maybe you're a franchise person that was doing entrepreneurship, bootstrap. Maybe that was the problem. Maybe it's not you, right? It's like trying to get a dog to meow. maybe you're made for franchise, but you're out here trying to do what I'm doing, and it's not a good fit. Folks, that's what we're here for. And before we dive into the meat and the bones and all that, we want to give a shout out. Have to give a shout out to Mike King Biz Radio. Mike King, he's the man out there in Richmond. Out here, they put him on the jumbotron. Man, they love this guy at the ball games. Everywhere he goes, pushing up people. That's why we're a perfect fit. So thank you, Mike King, for the opportunity to share this kind of expertise from folks like Greg, to blast that out there to people who need it. And not to get preachy, but folks, that's what the Hounds of Business is all about. All right, you have the passion, you have the desire, you're giving up 401ks, you're giving up the corporate comfort, and you want to make an impact. But you need the people, resources, support to get it done. That's where we step in, folks. So if you're looking out there, you're trying to figure it out, maybe the things you're doing aren't working for you, no strays out there. Find us on YouTube, Hounds of Business YouTube channel. You can find me, Mike Asherbrenner, Redneck One on LinkedIn, or send me an old school carrier pigeon. They might take a while with the bad weather, but we still take those. So we are here with Greg Moore, the franchise maven, and we are chopping it up, real talk. Hey, what's the good, bad, and ugly, and what do folks need to know? All right, because this could be their gateway to the financial freedom, time freedom, so they can go out there and help people where it really matters, right? Whatever's in their heart. And that's what it's about. So I know folks, Greg, they work 60-hour a week running a business. Elbows pointing at me. And, they still feel broke and stuck. Right? I'm coming out of that, but most of us go through that. So if you're out there, folks, yes, don't stay there, but it's common to be there. 100 hours a week, yeah. So here's my question. First one, what makes the franchise model in general so daggone powerful for folks that want freedom without the starting from scratch? What is it that really at the nucleus of it?
The systemization of the processes that are in place out there, the step-by-step plans. And it's something that really every business owner should think about, is systemizing everything that they do on there. Build it like you plan on selling it tomorrow on that. Because when you walk into a franchise, you're getting into it because you want to get to where you want to be 2 to 3 years quicker than if you were to do it yourself. You want systems and processes in place. And that's the benefit of getting into a franchise. Yeah, there's some drawbacks. Some of them have, distinct territories, and you can't work outside the territory. So there's going to be some restrictions. There'll be some restrictions on, what you can sell or what services you can perform on that. But you're willing to make that sacrifice to get you to where you want to be 2 to 3 years quicker and follow those systems and processes that have been put in place because they worked in the past. They've shown that this is what works. You follow this, you're going to be good. You don't follow it, and you might not be. And some of my people got into a franchise to begin with, and they had some of their own ideas and thought they'd run with it. Some of the franchises let them, and they didn't always start off as well as they could have on that. But you're still welcome in a lot of the franchises to be creative, but the franchise hadn't done that yet necessarily. So you're taking a risk on there. Follow the process, follow the systems, and your chances of success are that much greater.
Man, we should have been a ball team. You set them up, I'm knocking them down, man, and vice versa. So that's the burning question everybody probably has right now. What's one mistake folks make when they're picking a franchise that costs them big time down the road? What's some common things you've seen in your long career?
Not talking to enough franchisees on that one to get a good, clear view of the franchise. The franchisees I found to be actually pretty brutally honest for the most part. You may catch them on a bad day and you might get an earful on that one, but talk to them. Find out what that business is all about. If you want to do something that's semi-absentee, something on the side because you're not quite where you want to be right now, down the road, you're looking to eventually step away from a job. We'll find out what does semi-absentee really mean for that business. You may hear 10 to 15 hours a week to begin with, but that's going to vary by individual franchise. So find out ahead of time, what does that mean on there? So you've got a good feel for it. But most of the time when I hear somebody hasn't been very successful in a franchise, and I hear it every once in a while, I've asked them, how many franchisees did you talk to? I talked to a couple of them. It's like, no, 10, 15, whatever it takes. But talk to them until you start hearing the same thing over and over again. Hopefully good. If not, time to run away on that. And especially talk to, if you want to be successful, talk to the ones that have been the most successful in that franchise system. Find out what they've done and picture yourself doing what they're doing. If you can, and you can picture yourself doing that, then you know you're probably on the right track. If you can't, well, then hire somebody to do it or find another franchise.
See, that's gold. What you're saying is don't fast track and disregard and gloss over the research phase, man. That's an important phase. And here's what I know about wealthy, successful people. They love to talk about their success, right? So pick the brain of somebody, ask them, hey, I'm considering this and would like to know from you. And, just go out there and explore. And on that note, I've got to ask, because you have a system for matching people to the right franchise. See, they don't know what questions to ask, right? And you do. And this is why Greg is such a good fit, because I don't know. I mean, I could Google it all day, but who's going to sort through the 8 billion pages when you put franchise in Google, right? Or AI? That's Greg. We still need people. And so what's the first thing you ask someone to figure out whether they're just serious or just dreaming, or maybe serious later?
What are you willing to give up in the next 12 to 24 months to win? That's the biggest thing, because you will be giving up something, obviously money right away, because you got to invest in the franchise. You can get a loan for it, so you're not giving up too much. But generally speaking, are you willing to give up that time to win, to get to where you want to be in the next, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, looking down the line? Where do you want to be 5 to 10 years from now is what I ask people. And what are you willing to give up to get there? Because you will be giving up some money and some time.
Man, that was high level right there. Again, do this well, right? Talk to a professional that can help guide. If you're serious, and if you're not, well, come back when you are. But I love this, hey, I'm going to guide you. The way I look at this, Greg, and folks tell me if you resonate, Appalachian Trail. If I'm going to go on that Appalachian Trail hike, I probably want to get a good guide, right? And learn and prepare and practice. You just don't jump on the trail and disappear. Like, you need to be equipped. And that's what the franchise maven is all about, folks. So even if you're not looking to buy a franchise right now, I know everybody and myself could use more systems and less chaos, Greg. All right. So what's something from the franchise playbook that maybe any business owner could, swipe today and run with? What are some of the things that you've learned?
As I indicated before, if you're a business owner itself, then really plan your business around selling it. And to sell it, that business cannot revolve around you on that one. So make certain that business doesn't revolve around you. And when you're getting into any kind of business, whether it be your own business or a franchise system, you're getting into it because you want freedom on that. You want more time freedom. You want to be able to do the things you want to do. And, if you wanted to work an 8 to 10 hour a day job, you just go into corporate and have that 8 to 10 hour a day job. But we get into being entrepreneurs because we want to be able to do the things we want to do when we want to do them. So when you're getting into your business, make certain that you're systematizing everything, that you're planning on selling that business at that time. So make certain that business itself really just does not revolve around you. And when you're looking to get into a franchise system, look for one that will give you that freedom to do the things that you want to do when you want to do them, and the money to do it with. Yeah.
So we've got Michelle Smith said we could also shadow a day in the life of a franchisee. That's what I was thinking. Like, ask them. The worst they could do is say no, right, Greg? Like, go out there and ask people, go do this. I tell my daughters, hey, go find people, go talk to them, see if you can go to the hospital. What's a nurse do? Like, you got YouTube videos, Greg, is that stuff what's some things that people could do who are on the fence that are serious before they even talk to you? Do you recommend they look at different options, talk to folks, or just talk to you first?
Michelle's right about shadowing a day in the life of a franchise on that. That's what I tell some of my people to do, and some of them have done it, is that they find one that's not too far away, and that they just go follow them around and do the work. I had one who was getting into a leather and vinyl plastic repair. He went out on the truck with him for the day to go repair the stuff. And it's a good way to do it, good way to find out exactly what your day is going to look like. If you have that opportunity, you can do it. But if you're not quite ready to talk to me yet, then probably just go out. You can get my book out there, The Real Freedom. This will help you. But not just my book. I mean, just go out there. There's a few different books that you can get on entrepreneurship, that you can get on franchising out there as well. And just start familiarizing yourself with the different books and different people that are talking about franchising. So you get kind of familiar with the terminology. how the whole thing works. And if you read different people's books on franchising out there, you get views from different folks. So I would love everybody to come see me, but I know that some people may, after reading my book, they might think I'm crazy, and don't want to call me. That's the idea, is to filter those ones out so they go somewhere else, and only the people that resonate with me come and talk to me. But get other books from other people about entrepreneurship and about franchising, and really get a feel for what it's all about before you make that step into it. Or you just give me a call at any time, and we can just talk through it and see where you're at, and I'll let you know whether what you're expecting and what you're looking at is reasonable.
Well, if you're crazy, you're in the right place, right? Look who you're talking to, right? So, but I love the attitude. This is not a salesy thing, guys. This is an educating best interest. What are you ready for this? How can you be ready for this? You're asking the right questions, guiding these folks, right? Just like the Appalachian Trail. You don't have a guide and you fall off the cliff, get eaten by bears, right? Don't do that. Don't just throw your money at something and flop around. Go to a proven expert. That's great, folks. That's what the Franchise Maven's all about. FranchiseMaven.com. Real quick, rapid fire, because I want to make sure we get to the end. Let me go ahead and skip to the good part. And then I want folks to know where to get you, because you got courses, books. I mean, you got lots of things to keep people busy in the right zone, not just chasing their tails everywhere. All right. If you had to start over today with nothing but grit and dirt, right? What's the first call you'd make? Would you do anything different?
Yeah, I would. If I was to start all over again before going to college to get a degree in electrical engineering and physics, I probably would have gone and got a degree, or at least taken some classes in entrepreneurship and economics. That's the first thing.
Yeah, Greg, where can folks go? All right, and we got the website, but just elaborate a little bit. Book, you got courses. Tell folks where they can go through the website so they can see for themselves, and then when's the right time for them to book a call with you?
So the right time to book a call is right now. Go out there to franchisemaven.com. That's franchise, MAV as in Victor, EN.com. I work with about 750 different franchises out there. I am free. The franchisors pay me a referral fee. If you decide to invest in one of the franchises I introduce you to, I will come up with 5 or 10 different opportunities for you. We have a little process we'll take you through to get to that. I also have a course out there. I haven't really advertised it too much. I just created a course on investigating a franchise. If you're more of a do-it-yourselfer and you don't want my help, my course is, I'm just starting it out at $297 for the course on that. And that'll walk you through it if you don't want to do it. If you don't want my help and you want to do it yourself, you got your own ideas of what you want to look at on there. You'll have to email me for that. I haven't really put it out there yet. It was just something I was kind of considering and throwing around. So it's just something I just started on that. But go and get my book. A good way to start. Again, read that. You'll get to know me a little bit too, because there's some of my background in there. And it's got some information on different people that I've worked with as well on there. The very last chapter is actually about somebody who turned their business into a franchise. So if you're a business owner thinking you want to turn your business into a franchise, in the very last chapter in there is about that as well. But definitely go out and read as much as you can. Just reach out to me, 361-772-6401. Pick up the phone, give me a call, schedule a time. Let's just talk through it and see what you're thinking about and see if it's reasonable.
Well, Greg, once I get over these, I might have to call you, because the more I say Mike's Chicken Palace, the more I'm thinking it has a nice ring to it. But I tell you what, final question, last 30 seconds. What's your best advice for someone who's ready to stop working like a dog, and for someone else, and finally build that business, man, that gives them real freedom?
Franchising is a great option to look at. It is good to have options. Check out franchising. And if you are more of a do-it-yourselfer, then go on to Biz Buy Sell and go look for businesses, privately owned businesses that are for sale. Compare them to franchises. We'll do that together if you want.
Folks, you heard it. Go to franchisemaven.com. Check out Greg's material, his book, his courses, and then talk to Greg. Hey, you got a purpose and impact to make. We need guys to get us there. Thank you, Greg, for being the Hound's Choice Guide. Appreciate you, folks. Check out next week. We're going to be here with the one and only Megan Robinson with Leader Experience. Amazing. All right. So, folks, have a good one. Greg, you're the man. People in the comments, friends of the Hounds, you're the best. Go plug in, learn more. Don't do it by yourself, folks. We'll see you on the next one.
Looks like your business might be in a bit of a pickle.
Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.